as in Ethiopia. So these are all issues that have come up. When we come back home here in Uganda, we know that there is a call for striking, as the former colleagues have mentioned before. There's a lot of talk on that, and it is envisaged that to address, economic growth, a lot of it they are really targeting in industrialization. But as we try to set up these industries, the environment has been really compromised, and hence this is where we have this the idea that came up to be able to carry out this research. Uganda's rapid industrial growth, especially in Mukono industrial area, if you're from Mukono side, you see all those industries. And of course, when they're releasing waste, they release them in those small rivers that you see that flow through them. However, these are rivers that not so much has been done about them. Probably only a little bit has been done on River Namambe, which goes through the industrial park, the designated industrial park. And but these other rivers in the larger industrial area, there is really little work that has been done, and therefore there is no really scientific evidence that can support even the managers, if at all they wanted to do any kind of monitoring and management activities. Hence this project. Our study objectives of that side. And we focused on two small, we call them first order streams or rivers, and two of them called Kasala and Mola rivers in two sub-counties, that is Nachisunga and Nama. Basically, we don't have information, as I've mentioned earlier, so it's just like we can just estimate the river lengths, probably like 15 kilometers, something like that. Average depth is 0.5 meters, and the width is just like 2 to 3 meters. This map here, this guy's presentation is just to show you the different industries, what they represent. We have different process which goes to Lake Choka. Briefly, this is what we looked into. Basically, it was a purposive sampling. The sites were basically chosen to represent distinct ecological and pollution gradients. Upstream, there will be our reference sections, because and indeed when you go there, it's limited. I'm not saying 100% there's no activity, but at least it is really limited compared to the midstream, where there's a lot of activity and where most of these industries are set up. And then to the confluence zone, where these rivers now pour all that they've kind of accumulated along the way. And then we also to be able to tap into those, assess the cumulative effects. Those were the physical parameters. Because of time, I will not go through them. The chemical parameters, the many heavy metals, even the industries that are along or in that area, there are many heavy metals you can really work on. We selected 5 of them, as I'll show you why. Biological indicators, by microbiology and macro surveillance. And then also, it is part of the objective to create a water quality index, and also which will be informed also by the cluster analysis. These are the heavy metals, and why we focused on those. These are the industries you see, like for example, Kasala midstream. It goes through different factories, paint, mining, the steel industry, and then there are also other areas where we have more also going through where there is steel manufacturing. Right? If you know those factories, that site is Tiang. I think that area, there are quite a number of industries in that whole section. Quickly, I'll go through some of the physical parameters that we are able to really to work on. Oxygen, which is very important for the survival of the fauna in the aquatic systems, and of course also the flora, in aquatic plants. And with low oxygen, when you realize, when you see at that on that graph, you see that we have, for example, Kasala midstream, where you see very high concentrations during the wet season, which is indicated as green there, where we have the highest, and even when we see where we make the selection of the heavy metals, we see that there is a lot input at that point. And the wet season, basically, we have enhanced amount of oxygen. In the rain, the waters are oxygenated, whereas in the dry season, really we have very low oxygen levels. So with that stress coming in from the effluents from the meat industries, you can imagine how also the aquatic organisms are really struggling. And also, so far, I will not present it for now, but we realize that also the animals or aquatic species that are dwelling there, like Onacrozubenthos, you have opportunistic species that can be able to survive in those kind of ecological stresses. Total suspended solids, again, we see still that during the wet season, as expected, there is a lot of runoff that is going on, a lot of sediment that is being eroded, and of course it contains these chemicals. And total suspended solids kind of as a carrier for contaminants and like nutrients, heavy metals, and also overall also reduce water clarity. The water still is also highly degraded, and also to finish that downstream that depend on this water, this is a challenge. We have for nutrient enrichment coming in still from the different industrial activities. Total phosphorus is known to enhance nutrient enrichment, causing a process that we call